From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, September 16th. We are still on track to end the work week on a warm, summer-like note under lots of sunshine. Humidity's not going to be bad, but we're going to feel warm with highs into the mid-80s. As for the weekend, the heat's going to keep cranking up. Highs go from mid-80s on Saturday to upper 80s on Sunday. As the temperatures increase, so does the humidity. It's going to be a little uncomfortable out there. By Sunday night, there is a slight chance for isolated showers and storms. Indianapolis police say an early morning shooting left a woman critically wounded. It happened just before 3 this morning on Brendan Way West Drive near 56th and I-465. IMPD says officers did detain one person. No word yet if it's the shooter. Officers called it an expansive scene. We're now working to learn the victim's name and what may have led to the shooting. A man now faces attempted murder charges in an East Side standoff that shut down several streets for hours. We followed this for you as breaking news all morning on Daybreak yesterday. I covered it on the podcast. IMPD says officers arrested Brian De La Torre for shooting at police officers as they were executing a search warrant at a business on Massachusetts Avenue near 34th and Arlington. Police say detectives found 4 firearms, numerous shell casings, fentanyl contamination, diesel fuel, and other chemicals inside the building. Police say they also arrested Jose Lopez on an unrelated warrant. 2 other people detained were released. 2 IMPD officers are suing the department and Chief Randall Taylor. The officers accuse both of retaliating against them for reporting another officer's excessive use of force. Matthew Shores and Christopher Bibby filed the lawsuit on Wednesday. They reported Sergeant Eric Huxley for excessive force after they saw him stomping on a homeless man's face on Monument Circle. Body camera captured the moment. Shores and Bibby say they've since been placed on administrative duty, couldn't work overtime, and were forced to trade in their police cars for older, unsafe cars. Huxley is now charged with official misconduct and battery. Shores and Bibby are seeking an unspecified amount of money in damages. And police say an argument over an old boyfriend led to a shooting on the side of the interstate. Shalea Davis is accused of shooting Curtis Williams III Saturday on I-69 in Fishers. She's facing several charges, including attempted murder. Investigators say the two were arguing on the way home from their son's birthday celebration. The two gave investigators different accounts. Williams says Davis threw a drink at him. He pulled over and Davis shot him. Davis says Williams punched her in the stomach 4 times while accusing her of being pregnant with her ex-boyfriend's child. Police report pulling up to the scene to find Davis standing over Williams with a gun in her hand. The two have been married since April. We have more details, including the accounts from both Davis and Williams on wishtv.com. You can find the story under the As Seen on Wish TV section there. To IT Mate now, and questions surrounding the town of Zionsville's checkbook. A state audit reveals a lack of spending control. Mayor Emily Styron blames the money problem on a software issue. The town council's president says it's related to spending without oversight. The state found a payroll account overdrawn by $750,000. The state says another source of questionable spending is a renovated building. The Zionsville Town Council says it denied work on the 3-year-old building. The mayor went forward with spending $200,000 anyway. The State Board of Accounts recommends an outside investigation, but the council says its hands are tied. The State Board of Accounts performs an audit on every city and town in the state each year. Zionsville's town council says it expects more issues in the next audit. And today, expect to see billboards slamming the state's new abortion ban. The governor of California says signs are going up here and in 6 other states with abortion restrictions. Gavin Newsom tweeted pictures of billboards tagging each governor. The sign going up here reads, "Indiana does not own your body, you do." Other billboards say California is ready to help those seeking abortion. Indiana's new law started yesterday. Abortion rights demonstrators spent the afternoon and evening outside the governor's residence, urging Holcomb to rescind the ban. State House Democrats are promising new efforts to overturn it. The law survived one legal challenge on its first day. A judge declined to block it and will instead hear arguments Monday. The ACLU argues the ban is unconstitutional. It's one of 2 suits challenging the ban. The issue is pitting 2 of the state's top elected attorneys against each other as well. In a new court filing, Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears argues that Attorney General Todd Rokita should not represent the city and county on the abortion question. Mears says Rokita's views on the law are diametrically opposed to his own. Mears filed paperwork this week asking a judge to let the prosecutor's office keep its own attorneys. Mears wrote in the filing, "The law beats down the poorest women and intimidates doctors who are simply trying to provide routine care and treatment." Another lawsuit filed by the ACLU claims the law violates the state's Religious Freedom Restoration Act. A hearing in that case is scheduled for next month. A special master is now on the clock to look through the documents taken during the FBI search of former President Donald Trump's Florida estate. Both the Justice Department and Trump's team endorsed Raymond Dearie for the job, and the judge in the case has appointed him. The judge has rejected the Justice Department's bid to immediately resume its review of the materials, but will allow Trump's legal team to access classified documents that were seized. Dearie has until November 30th to finish his review of the documents. Today, President Biden is set to meet for the first time in person family members of Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan. Griner and Whelan are currently in Russian prisons. Griner is serving a 9-year prison sentence for carrying cannabis oil in her luggage. Whelan is a former Marine accused of espionage. He's been held since 2018. The White House says the meeting is aimed at showing the families that the cases are a priority and that the administration is working for the pair's release. To the war in Ukraine, Ukraine's president says his forces found a mass burial site in one of the areas they recaptured this week from Russia. Volodymyr Zelensky says it's in a forest in the Kharkiv region. It includes hundreds of graves with simple wooden crosses and a large grave with a marker saying it held the bodies of 17 Ukrainian soldiers. Zelensky indicated more information will come out today and says Russia must be held responsible. Republican governors are escalating a partisan tactic, sending migrants to Democratic strongholds without warning, including to the home of Vice President Kamala Harris. 2 buses of migrants from Texas arrived at Harris's D.C. home yesterday morning. The governors of Texas and Arizona have sent thousands of migrants there, to New York, and to Chicago in recent months. The latest surprise includes Florida sending 2 flights to Martha's Vineyard, where former President Barack Obama has a home. The governors say it's a political message over the Biden administration's border policies. Critics of the tactic call it inhumane, leaving migrants caught in the middle. The city of Jackson, Mississippi now has clean water. The state governor announced he's lifting its boil water advisory. It had been in place since July. The governor declared a state of emergency late last month after flooding overwhelmed a main water treatment plant. President Biden declared a federal emergency soon after. The State Department of Health says repairs have been made, but there is still work to be done in the long term. To business headlines, oil prices fell Thursday as the threat of a railroad strike subsided. That sent energy stocks lower along with the broader markets. FedEx's earnings are an ominous sign for the global economy. The CEO says they'll miss their projections because he believes the world economy is headed for a recession. FedEx is considered a bellwether because it touches so many parts of the economy, from e-commerce, manufacturing to fuel. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen highlighted the Biden administration's plans for boosting the Internal Revenue Service, including efforts to dramatically increase the capacity of in-person and call-in support services and to ramp up audits of top earners. Extreme drought in Massachusetts could wreak havoc on this year's Thanksgiving festivities as a heat wave is destroying cranberry crops. That means cranberry sauce and cosmopolitans are at risk as the northeast dry spell is threatening crops and the whole industry. Kanye West, who goes by Ye, said Thursday he's terminated the contract between his company Yeezy and Gap. In a legal letter, Yeezy said Gap failed to meet obligations in the agreement, including distributing products to store locations and creating dedicated Yeezy Gap stores. Gap CEO says it will wind down the partnership but continue to sell the Yeezy merchandise until it's gone.
Baby is out! Well, I bet you didn't expect to do that today.
A woman gave birth on I-69. It happened as Emily and Stephen Waddell drove to the hospital Monday, but realized they were not going to make it in time. This was in the Evansville area. Anyway, so they pulled over and a 911 operator guided them through the delivery. Dad says he caught the baby with the shirt, tied off the umbilical cord with an iPhone charger, and everyone waited for an ambulance. They also called the new mom's sister, who happens to be a labor and delivery nurse.
Luckily, between the people on the phone and my sister and just recently having children, we were able to make things go smooth and definitely had some guardian angels looking out for us.
Baby Reagan was born at 7 pounds, 10 ounces. Two, the Colts' injuries could plague the team's AFC matchup in Jacksonville. Top wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. and Pro Bowl cornerback Kenny Moore both sat out yesterday's practice. Pro Bowl defensive lineman DeForest Buckner has yet to practice this week. All-Pro linebacker Shaquille Leonard did return to practice as he recovers from back surgery. He does say, though, the 7-game losing streak in Jacksonville will not affect his decision to play on Sunday. Sunday's game at TIAA Bank Field kicks off at 1 p.m. You have two chances to see the Indianapolis Indians this weekend on your home for the team. We are airing on Wish TV Saturday evening's game against the Toledo Mud Hens. First pitch is at 6:30 on MyIndyTV 23. A quick turnaround for the teams and hours for an early afternoon start Sunday. First pitch is 1:30, also on MyIndyTV 23. After that, the Indians only have one homestand left this season. And today is the return of a longtime celebration of off-roading. The annual four-wheel jamboree starts at 10 this morning at the State Fairgrounds. The schedule includes monster truck and mud bog racing, a tire burnout contest, and awards show. The jamboree runs through Sunday. Starting at 8 this morning, our own Stephanie Mead was out there giving some reports, giving a little sneak preview, so you got to tune into Daybreak to get all that good stuff that you missed. Beginning today, Carmel will host more than 60 artists from around the world for its annual Carmel on Canvas plein air event. The artists will be set up all across the city, drawing inspiration for their artwork. If you're an aspiring or professional artist, you can still register to participate. You can do that on the event's website or in person at the Indiana Design Center. Carmel on Canvas runs today until 5 o'clock, Saturday from 8 to 8, and ends with an art fair Sunday from noon to 4. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.